president can poke holes in the process sufficient to actually convince the judge. What it then will mean that if the judge is convinced, the government will probably go to the Court of Appeal or whoever it is. This one is going to be there for the long haul. It's not going to end with the judge of the High Court. No.
It'll just continue and continue.
It'll continue. This one will go up until, if that's the process, it'll most probably get to the Supreme Court.
But why?
Everything that I hear the Deputy President speaking about amounts to one thing. Why am I the one being picked on?
So it's not whether you don't think he's saying, I am not
guilty.
I'm not guilty.
It would be foolhardy for him to admit any form of guilt if in his mind he has not done anything wrong. But the point is, those who have accused him have also gone a step further and attempted to provide evidence for what it is that they're accusing him. Now, these things have to be disputed and found to fall short of any threshold that somebody may claim to have met.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we are talking about a Kenyan politician and the Kenyan landscape, okay? Where good business, according to people who are in politics, is doing deals. Doing deals often means ensuring that monies that are intended for development either do not go towards the development, or if they do, they cost many, many times more what they should have cost before. And the excess money, well, where that money goes to is, your guess is as good as mine. Now, if this is how business has been conducted, and it's something that has been accepted, to those who have accepted it, it can't be wrong in their eyes. And why it can't be wrong is because they are not the only ones who are involved in these things. So if indeed you're saying that what they have done is wrong, then why don't we just include everybody who is involved? So the statement is a statement of truth when I say, I am not the only one who is involved in these things. So if indeed what I've done or what you say I have done meets the threshold that requires this impeachment, then I think let's just impeach everybody to whom we can point a similar finger. But that is talking about the entire political class that we have in this country.
That's the unfortunate bit, that the impeachment is a political process.
Yes, it is.
That's the unfortunate bit of it. And the position was upheld by courts when they said it's a political process, yes. Because the political process is, people are meeting their own things.
Yes, they are.
There are those who want to remove the deputy president because they think he's arrogant. There are those who want to remove him because they think he was a stumbling block, or whether he was blocking their way into something.
Yes.
There are those who want to remove him because, they feel that he wasn't serving the boss well, or all these things. Yeah. None of which is an accusation that is actually on paper here, right?
No. But they have to craft whatever is on paper to sort of sound that it is something that would warrant an impeachment. Yes.
And in the end, the entire country is now being treated into some funny, dance here. The bottom line is, just like the people many of them who turned up for the public hearings, what they were saying is we want clarity on UHC.
Yes.
We want clarity on this matter of Adani, JKIA. We want clarity on those matters.
We want clarity on the cost of living.
We want clarity. We want our services.
Yes.
We want services. If you're taking a case to court because you think that this person has actually not performed their job, that is fine. But if you're taking this matter up because you feel that, this guy, I need him to, this and the other, that's just wasting the public time. And the political class will dance into this. They'll dance into this because it plays two things. It does one good thing, which is it distracts the attention of the country from matters that were there. We move away from, we are not really concentrating on what's working at UHC, what's not, what's working with the rollout of Chief Shah, what's not. Now the thing is about, the Senate. What's the Senate going to do? Where is the deputy president today? Is the president talking? What is Oscar Sudi recording a video? What is Oscar Sudi's latest video saying? What has he said now? This is where now they're trying to focus us. But what really does it matter?
Well, the Wananchi spoke clearly and said what it is that matters to them. Because questions that were being asked We understand everything you said. How will it change, or how will it affect what we consider to be the fundamental issues that are of concern to us? How will this action change those? It's a question that was asked right across the country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are many questions that we keep asking ourselves.
Yes. But you see, those questions will not stop being asked. And that's why I say that with this particular process of impeachment, our political class they have opened themselves up to things that they will wish they had not done. This process where 208 people have said this guy be impeached,
Yes.
my friend, by the time this thing is, if I may use a Swahili word, chambuad, and looked at in great details and broken down, there are many people who will rue the day when this entire process was began. Yes.
That's indeed true. That's indeed very, very true, you know, on what normally happens and what you see. Our guest has arrived. Some people have seen him being walked into the studio. Dr. Adam Zolo is... Dr. Martin. Pole bwana. Dr. Martin Olo is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and he is a head of public law at State University. Good morning.
Morning, Eric.
How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. And I'm very sorry that I've run late.
What has happened?
I just miscalculated. I don't want to blame anybody else except myself. Because I should have done better calculation.
And then you got caught up in traffic.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, gridlock.
You're caught up in gridlock.
Gridlock, so, yeah.
Why is a gridlock? I'm about to tell people about traffic update. Why did you find it?
This was just before you get into the bypass from the current side. But I think it is that time of the build-up, the big lorries and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it should be okay now.
Panajali, karibu sana.
Asante.
Siti, give Wakili the day is a proverb.
Yes, our proverbs for this week, last week, and the coming weeks will be from the region that we refer to as the Maghreb region. We listened to proverbs from the Kingdom of Morocco.
Yeah.
This week, we are listening to proverbs from the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria. Algeria has a very interesting history, especially when you look at the relationship that Algeria had with France. Very, very interesting. It was a province of France, and it was believed it was just part of France, not just another country, part of. And there are very many French men, women, families that were essentially Algerians, because essentially they were in France, just the Algerian part of France. But that's a story for another day. Now, the Proverbs. Patience is the key to paradise.
Patience is the key to paradise.
Yes.
Great. I mean, they could not be better put. Because patience will earn you what otherwise would be difficult for others. In other words, staying power will actually get you to where you ultimately aspire to get to. So, indeed, paradise is what everyone wants to get to. And the reminder is that it takes patience.
Patience is it. Has the key
Yeah.
to paradise.
Yeah.
Do you think our political class has patience?
No. Our political class is not aiming to any paradise because they are already in paradise.
As far as they're concerned.
Yeah. They're already in paradise. So how they behave is they have arrived. And they have even forgotten how they arrived, where they are, and therefore they are enjoying their paradise. And everything they do is to enjoy the moment. Yeah.
Why do you think this is so?
It's because we have a build-up and a history that is not founded on any values or any principles, save for convenience and save for personal gain. So, anyone who seeks an elective position in this country is least likely to be doing so because they love you, because they really want the best of you. No. It's because they are aware that proximity and access to power is good for them. And because it's good for them, they maximize it. And they'll tell you that in order for them to continue being there, they must pass laws, they must do things that will apparently appear to be good for you, but actually only good for themselves. So they maximize it. And I'm saying this is not a very peculiar aspect to Africa or to Kenya. It's actually the mainstay of politics. So that even now, when you're looking at Trumpism and you're looking at the Republicanism, the heart and the soul of the Republican Party has since disappeared, ever since Trump appeared. So that it's no longer about the party, it's about the man and his interests. And he has managed to whip them to his corner. Yeah.
You wouldn't say the same thing for the Democrats?
Again, the Democrats are also a cabal of their own. They have their own, establishment. They have their own traditions, and they have their own belief system. Of course, for now, each one of them is seeking dominance, seeking power, and to do that, at least the Democrats are saying they can work with the Republicans. But the Republicans have even abandoned their republicanism to work with Trump. So it's all about what is in it for me. What are my interests? Yeah.
So I hear you to be saying that we are witnessing an entire shift and a change in the politics of the planet.
Absolutely. And if you want to get it better, we are living in the age of disruption. So that the other day when Obama was asking, when did it become normal for these kinds of habits and behavior, or these kinds of statements to just go unchallenged? So we are not living in the normal times. We are now living in the very disruptive times where anything goes.
And why is that so? Because I want to connect this with what's happening in the country. Why is that so?
It's because we have lost the base, or the base has shifted, or circumstances have since become untenable. So, for example, do we have a base in this country that believes in the interests, the values, and the good, and the welfare of this country? Perhaps not. And so when people are voting for somebody because that person is promising them personal benefits or giving them some goodies and so on, they are not interested in the country. They are saying, tumalizane hapa. They are telling you, let's just fix what we need now. When you go there, we know you will disappear there. We know you will not care for us. So it's about a zero-sum game. We finish it here, you go do your thing, but as soon as you go there, we start complaining.
So is it something new, or is it the cycle of change that the human being, in whichever status he finds himself in a country, experiences every so often? So we talk of an era.
An era, yes. And you can look at it. There have been different epochs or different eras if you're looking at it from even an African perspective. If you look at our pre-colonial, we had certain structures, we had certain belief systems. When you look at us with the interaction with the colonial, again we have some disruption, but you'll see a movement in Africa, a movement in Kenya that actually is seeking independence and seeking certain values, certain freedoms, and so on. That movement comes in up to the point when our so-called heroes take over. When they take over, they don't look forwards, they look backwards, and they say, oh my goodness, this is how the colonialist was enjoying it. We want that, if not better. So that explains to us how our constitution, after being given a constitution by Britain, or after so-called, Lancaster discussions, we have this constitution that's a bit different from how the colonialists ruled. And as soon as Kenyatta comes into power, he's obsessed to change the constitution so that he can be both a governor and a president and a king at the same time. Because his example is the colonial governor. Yeah.
If I mirror what you're saying to Kenya,
yes,
the disruption that often occurs in the history of mankind has to do with the generational changes. Because a generation comes about who did not experience colonialism, did not experience that era of, that we had before. And for them, it's history. And they tend to look at life as it is, and they wonder what this fuss, these so-called older people
are fussing about.
Yeah, what are they about when the matters that are before them in their mind are fairly clear? And this is what they would expect.
Yes.
So essentially, I hear you to be saying that we're at a time in the history of mankind where whether one likes it or not, change is upon us.
Change is here. And the change is not necessarily good. It's actually very disruptive. So disruptive that, look at Baba. Baba is now complaining that he has done so much in the past, he has lost friends, now he doesn't care. He can just do anything now. The point is that is being made is that the young people, when they went to the streets and they started agitating, they were not looking at the past, they were not looking at the history. They were saying, we are not satisfied with the now.
Yes.
And we think that the values that we see or the values that we don't see are critical for us. So they're saying, where is accountability and where is where are our parents, where is our government, where are our mentors? And so they were asking that we don't seem to be having mentors. Now, if you ask those people, they cannot tell you anything before Moi or even during Moi. They are looking more at Kibaki, the nearest, and then all they have been seeing is Uhuru and Ruto, and now Ruto. So they have a very short view of Kenya, and they have also lost faith in the so-called founders or the so-called framers of the constitution of the Kenyan nation. And they have lost faith because they cannot see the connection. They cannot see the aspirations. And perhaps they are right, because if this was all about poverty, all about ignorance, disease, and education, where are we at? Look at the state of education in this country now. We are it's so chaotic. From university education to primary education to secondary education, we don't even know which is secondary, which is primary, which is... I mean, it cannot be that way. But we are there. We are there.
You're the one who doesn't know, Dr. Those who are in it, they know that they are in primary or in junior secondary, and they know they will go to senior secondary.
So let me ask you, how can a junior secondary be in a primary?
That's you. You see now, you are still old school. This man is old school.
He's stuck with geography.
Yeah.
Till location.
Location is very important. Very important.
Let's take a break. 26 minutes to 8. Our guest this morning, Dr. Martin Olo. He's head of public law at the Daystar University. He's here. We talk about what's happening in the country and looking at the impeachments in this country and what the law says and the process. We'll be back shortly. Keep it here.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Seal the deal.
As the sun rises, so do